What are microbeads? If you ever used any exfoliating scrub, it's those little tiny colorful things that you see in the scrub that sometimes make it look really exciting. But did you know those scrubs, or rather those beads, are really bad for you? Today I want to talk about microbeads, and the reason why I want to talk about them because I think in Malaysia we don't really realize the effects microbeads have on our health and the environment. Microbeads contaminate the ocean. In fact, there are over 300 billion microbeads just in the Arctic Ocean alone. From a human health perspective, there's really not much evidence either way to prove whether microbeads are actually neutral for our health or are they bad for our health. But there's absolutely zero evidence to show that microbeads are actually good for our health. So no matter what those bottles tell you, microbeads don't help you exfoliate anything. In fact, they're just little bits of plastic that are rolling off your body, down the drain and into the ocean. But here's the thing about microbeads. They are perfectly legal in Malaysia. Various countries around the world have banned microbeads, but in most countries microbeads is still legal, including Malaysia. I found out about the microbeads fiasco in 2016 when the United States became one of the first countries to actually ban microbeads in January 2016. Back then it was a big deal and it was a big victory for environmentalists. And in fact, as I'm recording this video right now, the United Kingdom has just announced that they too will be banning microbeads. But here's the key thing: microbeads is still legal in Malaysia. So why do we see microbeads on our pharmacy shelves so much? It's because Malaysians love exfoliating scrubs, and we buy it by bulk. You know, almost every Malaysian household has exfoliating scrubs with microbeads in them. But here's the thing: the reason why I made this video, I think it's because the vast majority of us don't realize the effects that microbeads have on the environment. Most of us don't realize that those microbeads are in fact tiny particles of plastic rather than something to help your body. And that's why I made this video. Now, this isn't an attack on the pharma industry of Malaysia. In fact, like I've mentioned multiple times in this video, what they are doing is perfectly legal. But here's the thing: we as consumers can do our part to make sure that we get microbeads off the market. Here's what you can do as a consumer: stop buying those exfoliating scrubs. In fact, if you go to your local Watsons or your Guardian, they usually have a very similar product that doesn't have microbeads in them, usually slightly cheaper. Buy those instead. That will be your signal to the retailers that, hey, I don't want to buy microbeads anymore, and it will get them to get it off their shelves, even though it is still legal in Malaysia. At the same time, let's try to make it illegal in Malaysia. Contact the Ministry of Health, contact the Department of Environment, email them, call them, contact even your local MP and tell them, let's take the right steps to make microbeads illegal in Malaysia. So I sent an email to various retailers and ministries in Malaysia to get their thoughts on microbeads. Here was the question I asked. I would like to inquire on the sales of products using microbeads at your stores. Are you aware that microbeads escape through our water filtration systems and end up eaten by our marine and aquatic life? These little plastic beads are a terrible pollutant and have been banned in many countries, but it's still sold in Malaysia. Does this retailer or your ministry have any plans to withdraw the sales of microbeads on your shelves? If no, what can I do as the average consumer to make this happen? So I got responses from a few of these retailers and of course the ministry as well. Aeon Big said, "Greetings from Aeon Big Caroline. Rest assured that we already forward your inquiry to the respective department and they will get back to you on this as soon as possible regarding this matter." I did not get a response after that. Guardian said, "Greetings from Guardian. Thank you for reaching us. You may contact our HQ at this number instead and get the respective personal details." I contacted, no response. So those were the only responses I got from retailers, but I did get an interesting response from the Ministry of Health. I did not get one from the Department of Environment that I also sent an email to, but the Ministry of Health, after emailing it and forwarding it around to a few departments, I got this response. "Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Tuan-puan, perkara di atas adalah dirujuk bersama-sama dilampirkan ialah maklumat balas bahagian perkhidmatan farmasi untuk soalan pertama sahaja berkenaan microbeads. Mohon pihak Tuan Puan menyelaras jawapan bagi pertanyaan yang lain. So basically, if you don't understand BM, it says I have attached a communication from the pharmacy department, and these are their thoughts. MOH and other regulatory authorities and ASEAN countries, as well as representatives from cosmetic industries in ASEAN, had discussed issues related to microbeads in cosmetic products during a meeting held in May this year. In that meeting, it was agreed that further research needs to be done before a conclusion can be made on the use of microbeads in cosmetic products. So, to simplify the sentence from the Ministry of Health, is basically we're going to have a wait and see policy, which, while is understandable, unfortunately our environment doesn't have time on its side, and we need to save the marine life in Malaysia and around the world as soon as possible. And I would like to go back to my point earlier, which is that if we stop buying it, there's not much of a decision left to be made by our government, simply because there's no conversation to be had, because microbeads will not be sold in Malaysia anymore. That's all I have to say about this topic. Good evening, Malaysia.